My final day in Japan. Traveling around cities like Tokyo and visiting the different districts was a very interesting experience. Learning about the lives of many people that live in Japan and how they choose to go about their days, whether it being business, school, or people just wanting to look at the scenery. I could see a bunch of examples of how different districts choose to represent themselves, as many districts choose to do so differently. While in different places like Shibuya, people will go about their day traveling through the different areas, experiencing pop culture, itself from Japan, or even just meeting people on the street. We can see that there are many examples of these pop culture references and many different people wanting to get to where they are needing to go. Traveling across Japan is a different story, as many different cities in Japan are represented very differently. Rural places tend to be more quieter than places like Tokyo. But at night, Japan seems to light up in different areas in different ways. Tokyo, for instance, has a very vibrant culture during the night as people watch the midnight lights shine all around them. In rural areas, quiet and peaceful nature is all around them. Public transportation is also a very important factor within the Japanese culture, as trains, subways, sometimes driving, and even electric scooters are strewn about throughout different cities and towns. Again, pop culture is another example of how Japan chooses to represent itself in the modern day, also with their ancient tradition working hand in hand. Going through this entire experience was very important to me, very valuable, as different places showed me a different side to Japan itself. Technology, ancient tradition, pop culture, and many historical factors have taught me so much about Japan in a public health perspective, as I have learned different ways that Japan chooses to view public health and society itself. As a sociology major in the public health field, this has taught me how people think about public health, but also think about where they live. Traveling through Japan, I can see different points of view at many different areas, like Tokyo, with its large, vibrant colors, large buildings, and many people walking down the streets. While different areas in other parts of Japan, like Toyama, Hiroshima, with less people, more rural areas, large mountains, rice paddies. This trip has taught me a lot about the social sciences in the public health field, even though this trip was more uh, enveloped with the environmental aspects of public health in Japan. I like seeing the different ideas of how legislation was passed after many different public health uh, issues and problems. Coming on this trip was a very valuable experience for me in the public health field, and I look forward to using these skills and ideas to further my career in public health.